Welcome back everyone. In this video, we will learn how to show a loading spinner or a skeleton UI while our APIs are fetching data. You may not understand what I am talking about, so let me show you. Let's go to the resources tab. So as you can see, when I come to this resources tab from some other route, you can see that there is a brief delay. There is a brief moment when this page is completely empty, and then suddenly this data appears. So what happens is that our API takes some time to fetch the data, and when we have this data available, only then it shows us all these cards. Also, this is true for the dynamic route that we created in the previous video. So if I go inside, as you can see, for a brief moment, we can see that no data is available. Now, this is a really bad user experience because our user can think that there's nothing in this page and he can just visit some other route, or he can just close this window completely, which is a disaster for our application. So in this video, we will learn how to fix this. First, I want to create a spinner for this dynamic route. Then I want to create a skeleton UI for this resources route. So this is the end result. We have our skeleton UI, and then inside of the dynamic route, we have our loading spinner. So let's visit the MUI docs. And I want to search for progress. And if I scroll below, you can see that this is the loading spinner. Using this is pretty easy. We just need to import this component, and then we can start using this. So back inside of our dynamic route, this route is called a single resource. So I want to visit my single resource component in my code. And here we already have the setup ready. So in the previous video, we had created a resource object, and while our API returns the response, this object is empty. So we are checking here whether our resource object is empty or not. And while it is empty, we're showing this no data available text. So instead of this no data available text, now I want to show the circular progress. Just have to import it, and that is it. So if I visit the browser now, and if I go inside of the, so it's very brief, but you can see it on the left side. So yeah, we have the spinner. Now it is on the left side. I would like to bring it in the center so it's more visible. So what we have to do is we have to wrap this with a box component, and of course we have to import it from MUI. I think we did it in the previous video, and I will just apply some styling to this. So let's get back to the browser. And if you can't see the loader, you can just inspect and go to the network tab and throttle your connection to mimic a slow 3G. And of course, keep this DevTools on, otherwise this will not take effect. So let's go back to the resources tab, and let's get back to the single resources. As you can see, we can already see the loading spinner. So 100 viewport height was a little bit too much. As you can see, we get the loader. All right. Now I would like to create a skeleton UI for this resources route. So as usual, we'll go back to the MUI docs, and inside of the search, I will search for skeleton. And if I scroll below, you can see what this skeleton actually is. So it's just a placeholder of the exact same element that will be inside the page. So we have different variant in the skeleton. We have a variant called text. We have a circular variant, which looks like an avatar. And then we have rectangular, and we have rounded. We can also set different animations to these skeletons. So the default one is pulsate, but we can set it to a wave animation. Or if we don't like the animation, we can disable this completely. You can do some pretty complex stuff with it, like this. I will leave all of this for you to explore. Let's head back to VS Code and create a skeleton inside of our resources component. So inside of this component, I'd like to do a early return. And so initially, when this component is loaded, this resources array is empty, means that its length is actually 0. And I would like to check that. As long as the length of the resources array is 0, I'd like to show this skeleton. Our skeleton has to be similar to the actual content that we want to see. So let's get back to the browser. As you can see, we have some cards, and inside of it, we have just a typography component. So we have to create something similar. Inside of this if block, I will return a grid container, and I will give it a spacing of 3, just like this content below. So we have a grid container, and the spacing is 3. Then we have some grid items inside of it, and each item is 4 columns. So let's do this. Now here we had the resources array, but we have to create an array here. So I'll just use the array constructor, and I'll create an array of 18 items, and I will fill it all with 0. And then I will map this array. So I'll just call it item, and I'll return again. This time I will return a grid item, and it will have 4 columns. Okay. And this needs to have a key, and I will just use the, we can use the index as the key. So let's get the index, item, then index, and we can just use the index as the key. So inside of this, I will create a card, and inside of the card, we will need a card content, and inside we will create the skeleton. So for some reason, auto import is not working. I think we have to import manually. All right. So that's it. Let's visit the browser and see what's going on. So we can already see the skeleton. Now the skeleton, the skeleton has to have a height of this text. So we can get the height of the text by inspecting. So it is 32 pixels, I think. So let's get back to the code and make its height 32. Now if I come back, as you can see, we have a beautiful skeleton ready. And if I click any of these resources, we can see the resources profile. And before the resources profile is loaded, we can see a beautiful loader as well. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and also subscribe to our channel. If you're looking for courses on React, Python, or cybersecurity, please visit latenightcoder.com. I will put the link in the description below. Also, if you face any problem, let us know in the comment section. That's it for this video. I will see you in the next one.